Yo, we are on the other side. What's up, everybody? Thank you for being here. Joey Yates, good to see you, my bro.
Nice to see you, Mark.
We were just on the Instagram. If you guys were on Instagram, we were just on Instagram Live, grabbing you guys and bringing you over here to the segment YouTube channel where we are going to be starting this podcast in a few minutes. But thought we had some time because people were jumping on. Let's give the whole shot award out to Trail Pimp. Congratulations, Trail Pimp, with the whole shot award. He says, "Good times, YT." Yes, 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 yes. Stoked to see this guy as always. Craig, MTB Raging, says, I love me some YTs. Yes, he does.
The bike, right? He's talking the bikes.
Right, not the coffee. YT, not coffee. We have Jordan from the from YT marketing manager coming on soon. Double R is on. Yes, live podcast for the commute. Yeah, dude. Double R, how crazy is it? It's so dark right now at night. It felt like it was 8 o'clock when I was driving home, and then I looked at the clock. It was like 4:45. It was like not that good. Oh man, Mr. Nice Bike, what's up, bro? So yes, I did see your text message about the 5 dev, the cranks. That might be somebody we should get on the podcast too.
I've mentioned it. Yep.
Yes,
I think
you
that'd be great.
have.
They're local, so
Yeah.
it'd be good.
It would be good. It would be super good.
I know Cab has a set on his bike.
Yes, it'd be cool to learn about how 5dev is a little different, than the others. So, would be cool, Mr. Nice Bike. If you have the connections there, let's see if we can get 5dev on the show. Burrell Bikes is on. He says Mark is on his way. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Definitely so. I see Jordan Gold just walked into the backstage. So yes, yes, yes. We will be starting the podcast out. You guys are kind of getting like a little bit of an insight. This is kind of what it looks like backstage. We kind of chat and talk like this, and then we drop the intro on you guys, and that's how we do it. So
behind the scenes segment tonight.
This is a behind the scenes segment tonight. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Mr. Night Spike says inside joke. Sorry. Oh no, where?
That was where's Mark?
Oh, the where's Mark and the where's Joey? Yes, that's right.
You went on vacation without me.
That's right. I was on the islands, and Joey and I were going back and forth. Where are you? Pretending we were both on the same island, and people who didn't know us literally thought we were on the same island. They're like, "Why don't you just text him? Wait at the hotel before you take off." It was hilarious.
It was the same ocean, I guess. It counts.
True. It was in the Pacific. Joey was from Laguna Beach. We were in Laguna Beach on those shots, right?
Yeah, I was in Laguna.
And I was on where was I? I was in the Caribbean.
Oh, maybe the Caribbean, but the water all connects some way.
That's true. Which was super good. Oh man. So guys, we have Jordan Gold on the show tonight. It's going to be fantastic. Marketing manager for YT USA, talking about a lot of the great things. And Jordan, I see you backstage. If you can hear us and you look good and everything, give us a quick thumbs up. Okay, Jordan's ready to go. We're going to go ahead and patch Jordan in real quick, but finishing up the chats real quick. What's up, MTB Tank? Good to see you. Burrell Bikes, as always. Can we all have a moment of silence for Paul the Punter and MTB? Dude, I know. We were literally just talking about, do you really think he's done? I don't know. If you're that tight in, can you be done?
Is he trolling us? I don't know. That sounds like he's done.
Maybe he is done, but maybe that Stoke will bite him and bring him back.
Right.
Oh, man. Life of Riley MTB. Let's go, young talent. What about the old guys? Yes. It's a spirit thing. It's a spirit thing. Let's see if we can patch it.
Young at heart.
Yeah, young at heart. Jordan Gold, what's up, my bro?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, dude. Great to see you, my man. The folks are getting a little bit of a backstage tonight before we start the show. So went ahead and just got a lot of the people on the chat. So folks, feel free to chat away.
I need that backdrop.
That's a dope backdrop. Uncaged for Uncaged.
Live uncaged.
Nice. Love
it. Awesome, guys. Well, let's kick it off, you all. Let's get the old podcast started, right? So here we go. This is kind of like if we were backstage, we'd say, all right, guys, let's have a great show. Let's make a difference in people's lives. And 3, 2, 1, we're going live. And then it looks kind of like this. This is Messiah Hill, and this is the scooter backflip. Oh, yeah. Woo!
Wait, Dad, do we have a podcast tonight?
Oh, yes. See, I'm going to be late.
Here, you're going to need this.
Thank you.
Hurry up.
And there we are, folks. We're in the closet at YT, the secret door upstairs. Jordan
That's
Gold.
awesome.
Welcome to the show, my brother. Thank you for jumping on, Jordan.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Dude, so stoked to have you. And before we get started, or as we get started with the show, Jordan, if for the folks who don't know you, just quickly just tell them like who you are and kind of what your role is at YT.
For sure. So my name's Jordan. I work at YT Industries North America here down in San Clemente. I started in customer service and made my way up to the marketing team, and now just handling business with the PR global team now.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, you might see Jordan when it comes to a lot of cool stuff that's going on, sometimes media stuff. I know when the Scepter bike was just coming out, you guys are doing a ton of media going back and forth to the islands, for what's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And someone's got to do it, and you
Yeah.
had to see it on that chopper. So
Mm-hmm.
it's time to
Yep.
get you over there.
Yeah. That was a process setting up, but it ended up being a really, really cool trip. We had 3 different groups of press, one from North America, one from the UK, and then one from Germany, each with about 4 or 5 different press outlets. And we spent a day riding in San Clemente here. And then the second day was a surprise, but we took a helicopter over to Catalina Island to ride the gravel bike over there. Kind of like a heli drop for a drop bar bike. So taking a little bit
Dang.
of our lineage and putting it towards a drop bar bike, which was kind of cool.
That's really cool. The spirit and the stoke of the trail into that gravel bike and beyond
Mm-hmm.
for the commuters, for the road bikers, for everyone. I mean, maybe that's a great place to start off, Jordan, because that's something brand new. Is
Mm-hmm.
that Scepter? Do you mind introducing the Scepter to all of us?
Yeah, totally. It's something completely new for us at YT. We're known for having a gravity bike, and now we decided to introduce some drop bars and a little bit less travel. By a little bit, a lot of less travel.
That thing looks
Um,
fun.
yeah, no, it's a blast. I personally, I've grown up in a mountain bike family. I've been road biking a little bit just for training purposes. So to mix the two was a little bit interesting for me at first. But I'm very pleasantly surprised with the bike.
Well, when you first took that bike out, did you see this bike in development, or did it show up and you're like, hey, let's go get on this thing and get some experience? How did that whole thing unfold?
Honestly, it was kind of a myth. We heard about it for a few years, at least in North America. All the design and stuff is done over in Germany at the headquarters. But it was kind of a myth that we were going to have a gravel bike at some point. And then all of a sudden, I get a shipping notification email that one's headed my way.
Oh my God.
So I was excited. Yeah, for sure. Like I had seen some photos and some R&D drafts of the bike, but never one physically. So once it finally showed up, it was go time.
Wow, that thing looks so speedy. And
Mm-hmm.
now what was when you first got laid eyes on it, and some of the myths that you heard, what were some of the things that really stood out to you about this bike?
When I first took it out of the box, like stepping back and looking at it from the side, I could see how slack the head tube was and how far away the front wheel was. Like I said, I ride road bikes all the time, so seeing a gravel bike like that where everything was so laid out, it really made sense. It was definitely part YT and and part drop bar bike.
Damn. I love it. Trail Pimp, I think, nailed it there. He had said, good times gravel bike with gravity DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Is,
That's
is that,
exactly what we're going for.
yeah, I was going to say, that's the particular market. So are you trying to grab the folks that have YT lineage or trail lineage that stoke from the trail and getting them over to gravel? Is that kind of where you guys are aiming?
Exactly. The Scepter is not necessarily like the gravel bike for everyone. It's not specifically a touring bike. It's not like a cyclocross race bike, so to speak. It can be used for any of those things, but we're really trying to provide a bike for people that usually ride during the season that can't ride in the off season, but still want to rip some berms or hit a jump here and there from time to time.
Love it. I love it. We got Steve from Spokesman out of Northern California. He's asking, that's a great looking bike. What's the weight on that thing?
That's actually a really good question. Surprisingly, the Core 4, which is our more expensive model, weighs just a tiny bit more than the Core 3. But that really just comes down to having a seat dropper. The Core 3, the green one, just has like a static post.
Okay.
And then the Core 4 has a seat dropper. It's not too much on the smaller sizes. It's 50 millimeters, and on the bigger ones, 75. But yeah, just a small weight difference, but not too bad.
Nice. We have let's see, was there another question here? Mr. Nice Bike is saying YT has some of the best customer service around. Always a pleasure to work with them. And we have Riding Dirty out of Arizona says, yo, I want that gravel bike. Are these bikes available for sale today, or is there a launch date coming?
So they've already been launched as of last week. They're available to order. I believe our first container of them is coming in early next week, if I remember correctly. So if you order one now, they'll be shipping very, very shortly. And then we'll be getting them pretty consistently going forward.
Gotcha. And it looks like Joey just pulled this up, Scepter demo event, November 12th, 9 a.m. If folks that are in the area want to try this bike out, how many people can do the event, or how is this set up?
So we have a full size run of bikes. We have some devils of like large and extra large. I think a couple devil mediums as well, just to keep people in the saddle. But Saturday marks the first day that you can demo a Scepter out of the mill. So those bikes will be there to stay for the foreseeable future. But that just marks the first day someone can try one.
Sweet. November 12th. So guys, if you are in the area, do they just sign up like they would normally? Go to the YT USA website, go to product services, and then go to demo and reserve them that way. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's one way to do it. You can also actually click the link on our Instagram there and go through the process that way too.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. We have Trail Pimp saying, is that Marcus Flossman riding the bike in the ad?
There's a couple photos of him actually. There's also some photos of Lewis Blattner. He's one of the guys in the UK, kind of like a cross-country race athlete. He did a lot of the shooting in the video or the launch video for the bike.
Gotcha. And he's on that. Debbie Keel, one of the writers out of Rancho Cucamonga, she's asking, I'm actually really interested in that bike. I have a lot of local flat trails here and that it would be perfect for. Yeah. So tell us the type of terrain that, I mean, it has this like trail spirit, this DNA of YT fun, but it's a gravel bike. But where can you take this sucker? Because in the ads, I mean, people are jumping them and everything else.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah, where can we play on this thing?
Anywhere you want to. The fun part for me, at least when I first rode the bike, was that I was able to, leave from my house on the road and then go find some single track to ride. I've even ridden some of the mill demo trails with jumps included. You can still rip berms on it. My first impression really with the bike was it reminded me of riding an e-bike for the first time. E-bikes, you can kind of, just point somewhere and be like, oh, I want to go ride over there. When you're on a gravel bike like that, you can be on the road and see a trail off to the side and go and rip it.
Dang. Okay, that's cool. Is that kind of how they've built it with that like slacker head tube angle? And obviously we see that there's front suspension on there. And then how is the the back, the chainstay, is it all designed to be this kind of hybrid model type of bike, but strong gravel, but hybrid everywhere else?
Exactly. You know, we wanted to include pedal performance, but we also wanted to be fun on the trail, just like any of our other bikes. So it's definitely took some time in R&D, you know, to find the right mix. Strangely enough, actually, the suspension fork has an OEM offset, so it's a little bit more than you would find if you were to buy just the fork by itself, just
Wow.
to put that front wheel a little bit further away
Dang.
than normal.
Dang, 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 dang. Super
Yep.
cool, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
So that's kind of like the latest and the greatest from YT, and YT isn't afraid to go out and do things different, and have fun with
Exactly.
it. And I love that about YT. I think that's why a lot of folks, when you're in this, at least in Southern California where we are when we are on the trails, YT just comes with its own feeling and culture. When
hmm
it's not like a corporate-y type of thing. It's feels more like a skate brand, while we're
Yeah.
out there having
Yeah.
a good time. Is that kind of the feeling that you get as a marketing person inside of YT? Is that what you guys are going for?
Totally. Totally. We're trying to be more of a family than just, you know, a famous brand. We want everyone that has one of our bikes or that wants to get one of our bikes to be part of our family. We're more going for, you know, fuck yeah than first place. We want
Nice.
people to have fun rather than just, you know, try to be the fast guy.
Love it. Love it. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome, Jordan. And then, so, what are the price points on these gravel bikes, for people
hmm
that are looking to jump in, and how does
hmm
it compare to some of the other bikes in the marketplace?
So the Core 3 starts at 32.99, if I remember correctly, and
Okay.
that's the bike very similar to the Core 4, just not really having a dropper post. Um, Other than that, you know, the spec honestly is pretty similar. You know, it doesn't have carbon cranks. There's a couple little, you know, little things that do make a difference. And then the Core 4 is 44.99. So you have carbon fiber cranks, wireless shifting, wireless seat dropper, and so on. So compared to the rest of the market, they're pretty aggressively priced, I would say,
Yeah.
at least for what you're getting. You know, full carbon frame, one by drivetrain, again being wireless and all that stuff.
That's pretty insane. That sounds good. I'm
hmm
curious. Like I never thought of a gravel bike until this came out. Now I'm like, damn,
hmm
I'm looking at it, and then I'm watching the guys on the ad sending it, whipping it, and everything. I'm like, damn,
hmm
that looks super fun.
Yeah,
Looks
I
super
thought
fun.
the exact same way. I thought the exact same way. You know, I've always been one that I want to have the right tool for the job, so to speak. If I'm going to go ride mountain bikes, I'm going to have a mountain bike with me. If I go to the bike park, I have a park bike. If I'm going to go ride road, I'm going to ride a road bike.
Yeah.
But for something like this, you can really just go for an adventure. If you feel like being on the bike all day long, it's a perfect thing for you.
Dang, that's awesome, man. That is really, really cool. I can't wait to see more of these out and about. Joey's pulling up some of here's the frame design right here, actually. One thing that
hmm
jumps out on it right there is like, look at all the different things you could put on the bike. What is that? One, two, three sets of holders there?
And there's actually some more on the down tube there. They look kind of hidden,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's three spots there. So you know, traditional bottle cage will just hold two bolts, but there's a third one extra just in case you want to put, you know, a bigger bottle or a bigger frame bag or something like that.
Interesting. Okay, so this thing is meant to
hmm
go for the distance and for adventure. Spokesman saying that is gorgeous, as he's saying.
Yep. hmm Yep.
Yes, yes, it's definitely one of those type of looks.
Yep. It's
Mr.
different, that's for sure.
Mr. Nice Bike is saying, "Damn, good value. Man, look at all
hmm
this. This is very cool. Oh, hey, fellow rider right here, Mr. Outsider, Tony Da Silva has
Hey,
jumped on. He says, "Hey
what's
guys, what
up?
up, Jordan?"
Hey there, Tony.
That's awesome. Good to see you, brother. Spokesman saying bottle cages on the top tube. Yeah, bottle cages or
hmm
bike bags. It looks like
hmm
anything you want to put on there.
Yeah, I'd say more bike bags, even flat kits, similar to like you'd see on an enduro bike. Even how you can put a flat kit on the underside of the top tube. We just wanted to provide as many options as possible with that frame.
I love it. So that is the new Scepter, which you can
Hmm.
demo here, and comes in the course. Now, something that we talked about backstage that I thought was really cool. It used, YT used to have like the shred and names like that, and then very recently it shifted to the core models. Are
Hmm.
are we looking forward to seeing more core type separation between the different models within each bike?
For sure. So similar to the past, we've had like a pro race, for example, that would be likened to a Core 4 nowadays. So the idea is that we have rolling changes to those core bikes. We'll always have them in stock, or they'll always be on order, but they'll always get rolling changes as far as parts go. So say for a Core 2 Jeffsy, for example, if you were to buy it today, it'll have a certain spec. If you bought it in 8 months from now, after Fox comes out with a different rear shock, it'll have a different rear shock on there. But that same Core 2 will still exist and always be available. So, like you said, like the shred models, basically we have the uncaged models now. Instead of being called shred or blaze or something like that, we
Gotcha.
still are going to always have limited bikes, but they're just going to have an uncaged version. So
Gotcha.
there, that's the uncaged 9. I believe that's a decoy, if I can see
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
That totally different spec than we normally have with Olin suspension. Similar frame to like what would come on a Core 2, so the carbon front triangle and aluminum rear triangle. Just a different, more niche setup.
That's nice. So the uncaged will be kind of like the limited edition stuff, and then every other bike build will be in the cores, whether it's core 2, 3, and then 4 is going to be your top line build for that specific bike, whether it's the Jeffsy, the Capra, and so on and so forth.
Hmm. Exactly. And then we'll always have limited versions of bikes with the uncaged system, just named differently. Honestly.
Gotcha. Man, always dropping some cool new stuff. I remember
Hmm.
I was at a meeting and was texting back and forth with Uncaged MTB here, Mr. Joey Yates, and the
Hmm.
Uncaged 9 just dropped, that purple with the Olins on
Hmm.
it. And
Hmm.
I literally was at a meeting. I didn't have my card with me. So I waited for the meeting to get over. I ran to my hotel room. I got my card out. I went on to place the order and it was gone in like a
Oh
heartbeat.
man.
It was
Hmm.
gone so fast. Um, but you guys have
Those ones
been
were gone in a flash.
so fast. I think what did they sell it in like an hour and a half, maybe?
A lot of the Capras were gone pretty quickly. We actually just got a restock of the decoy, though. We do have a few
Woo!
more on the website in normal sizes too, medium, large, and extra large, I believe.
Nice. So, folks, if you are
Hmm.
today, it's November right now. And if you're
Hmm.
looking for a Christmas gift or holiday present for yourself or a loved one, decoys are back in stock. Now, I heard a rumor
Hmm.
you guys just had the garage sale.
Hmm.
Um, was it like last weekend, I believe? And
Hmm.
I heard that the Jeffsies and the decoys literally ran off the shelves. You had put
Hmm.
everything out there, started this garage sale, and then boom, big demand for those things, huh?
Yeah. Yep. We had a lot of decoys actually. We had like two of those A-frame racks completely full of them, and I think those were the first bikes to go.
Woo!
Hmm.
That's so fun,
Hmm.
man.
Hmm.
The E's are so fun for the folks that are out there, man. You guys know a lot of the folks that are in the chat right now do have an E. A lot of the folks actually have decoys that are out here, and
Hmm.
yeah, those things are just so fun. You get so many reps in on the trail. Just
Yeah.
it's just so good. For your specific quiver, what are you riding on right now, Jordan?
Honestly, it depends on the day of the week. During normal work days, I usually get like an hour lunch break. So the e-bike is perfect for that. I can put the same amount of effort in and just crank out a ton of laps, just over and over and over again. I still get sweaty. It's still definitely a workout. But yeah, I can just hit the trail way, way more than normal. Um,
Yes.
on the weekends, though, you'll probably catch me on a Capra if I'm not training on the road bike.
That's awesome, man. That's so there. Look at that Capra right there.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah.
she's pretty. I don't know why I
Hmm.
say she. It's just it's a pretty bike, but
I mean, it's a vessel. It's a vessel that makes it
it
a she.
it is, yes, a gorgeous vessel
Hmm.
of Stoke and Nar.
Hmm.
The beautiful combination between scary and oh man, that was awesome. The outsiders saying love that color. Yeah. That's the Knox Blue. Let's try to. We can get some. So guys, Jordan is on the marketing team, so we might be able to get some good information out of him for the future. Jordan's got the poker face on. He's like, no.
Uh-oh.
We got. Oh no, we're losing him. We're losing him. Right and Dirty says that launch edition capper pink is fire. Ooh yeah. Yeah, definitely so.
Yeah.
The launch
Super limited
edition camper. How many of those were released out into the wild?
So I believe there were actually 200 globally, and I think we got either half or just over half of those here in the U.S.
Whoa! And those things just gone. Are there any of those left, or are they all out in the wild?
You know, I think there might be a couple left. Similar to like the Uncaged 9, I think that there was a little bit of a delay with supply chain, at least when this bike was first being planned. So I think we got some more in the warehouse right now.
Look at that. Joey's saying the large is in stock right now. Folks, if you're watching this, I know Jordan, he's in his office, but he's doing this off of his iPhone. So he can't quite see some of the small things on the screen. So if you're wondering why he can't see that, that's the reason why. So yeah, it looks like there's a couple of those larges left, which is that's a sick color. I agree with you, Eric. That is super dope. Actually, Joey's pointing. So I can't even read. I got a big screen in front of me. It looks like the large is in stock, the extra large, and the double XL is in stock on that launch edition. Hey, dang, that is
we got
cool.
some more.
Yeah, more is in. We have. Gosh, man, there's so many people. I love this. The chats. Colorado Kid just jumped in. He says, "Hey, everybody, I'm on a plane waiting to leave Denver right now." Oh yeah, Callie, what's up, dude? Thank you for jumping on. How many people are in the flight? Hold the phone up. What's up, everybody? It's Jordan Gold from YT and Joey and I.
Hey, y'all.
What's up, Airplane, United Airlines? Oh, we got Rodolfo is saying, Mark, the big question for us decoy owners, is there a bigger battery coming out? Not that I need it, LOL. Gotcha. Good question. Jordan,
that is a very good question. Yeah, don't twist my arm. I can't say too much, but keep your eyes peeled.
Got it. That answers a lot of the question right there. Keep your eyes peeled. So what's crazy is that a lot of times I'll go out on, so for example, I went to Sky Park for a lot of folks who've been to Sky Park, and I got over 20 miles on the decoy, and it was literally getting dark, and I did not run out of battery. I had 1 bar left, but I had tons of energy for the day. So I'm not the type of guy who's running out of battery for battery life. When I talk to people about battery and they're like, I got this battery that'll go this many miles, and I get sucked into it. But at the end of the day, I look back and I'm like, I don't run out of battery. But maybe I need to be on boost mode the whole time. Maybe that's what I need to do.
yeah, that definitely makes a difference. And, you know, for bigger riders too, you know, the motor basically matches whatever power is put in. So for bigger guys, they have a lot more torque just naturally for having more weight going into it. So then the bike needs to push a little bit harder on top of that. So some, you know, extra large, double extra large riders might still not be in boost mode, but can lose battery a little bit faster than people on, you know, a medium frame, for example.
God, I didn't realize that. So it literally matches the wattage you put down on the pedal. The bike will match that wattage. So it's like it's a U times 2. Interesting. Cool.
I mean, depending on the mode too, you know, like an eco isn't going to be a complete, you know, 50-50 match. But yeah, like when you're in boost, it's going to take your weight or however much torque is going in to the motor and match it.
Got it. Man, the e-bike is so good for that. Just getting out there. Brett Hall says, never have a battery issue, trail mode all day. That's what he rides, trail mode all day. I love it. And hey, congratulations too on your recent marriage.
Oh, thank you.
which is awesome. And I remember that part of life. And you know, I'm trying to think, if I was a mountain biker when I first got married, how hard the juggle would be to make sure that I'm home, make sure that I'm not late. And I feel like the e-bike is perfect for that. When you're on limited time, or you have, you know, you have other commitments, I feel like the e-bike can get you out there and get you back home as well.
For sure.
Which is good. But then also, and I've never ridden one of these, but then also you have in the lineup the YT Izzo, which looks like it's a fast, nimble, kind of like, what is that? More of like a down country bike?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. I think that describes it really well. It's geometry wise a little bit more leaning towards, a cross country bike. But when you're riding it, you kind of feel like you're on like a Jeffsy, but a little bit lighter and snappier, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good looking bike. And
hmm
and that particular one that Joey's brought up, which one is that one? That one is is that an uncaged version?
Yeah, that's the Uncaged 7. So that actually has a little bit less travel than like the core Izzos would have.
Hmm.
So they went to the full nines to make that thing as light as possible. Even the air cap on the fork is just a normal straighter valve, not the full size air cap.
Got it. Got it.
hmm
Yeah, that looks like a fun bike. That might be actually for the folks that are tuning in from Arizona. I wonder how that bike would ride on some of the techie climbs. I bet that thing would rip up the trails on the tech
hmm
stuff.
I actually have a good friend of mine out in Arizona that rides an Izzo. He has the Core 4 and absolutely loves it. He says it's the perfect bike for out there. Um, I
Really?
think I think he bumped the travel up in the front 10 millimeters just to make it feel a little bit more like a trail bike.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, he's been super stoked on the thing.
Dang, that's cool. I think I saw
hmm
footage of, is it Rob Drew? One of the Drew brothers, I think,
hmm
is out there. I think he has an Izzo too that he bumped up the front fork a little bit in
hmm
mobbing it. Um, that that
Yeah.
seems like a great spot. The outsider saying Izzo was a great bike in Sedona. Oh, so he took it there. Yeah. Tony's saying great
hmm
for Sedona. And
hmm
MTB Raging saying, "Ooh, love my Izzo. Just got the suspension done at Gravity today. That
Nice.
that's cool." Craig, tell us, what did you do to it? Did you bump up the front, or did you just set the clicks and the air pressure the right way that you wanted for you? Let me know. Um, Spokesman saying that Core 4 looks light, 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 light.
hmm
What's the spokesman? He loves the weight questions. Do you know what the weight is on the Izzo?
I want to say it's going to be just under 30 pounds. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but it's definitely lighter than our normal YT bike. I know that the frame specifically is a little bit thinner carbon wise.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't mean it's any less strong, but they really did go to make it as light and as snappy as possible.
That's cool. And that's a lot of the marketing behind that, saying that it's like that
hmm
samurai feel, that like light,
hmm
nimble, ninja, quick and snappy. I see Joey's on the specs page right now. He's looking it up. The spokesman saying, trying to offset my gut. uh, MTV Raging saying secret sauce in the front coming soon to 34 rippers. Ooh, wonder what he did. Wonder what he
Hmm,
did there. Joey's
interesting.
bringing up another picture here of the Izzo. Now the suspension on that, it's vertical. Is that like, did they do that on purpose because of the design that they're trying to make it more snappy, or why did they do it that way?
Yeah, it's a little bit different from what we normally do. Usually we have, a 4-bar link, basically, like if you look at the 2S, for example, the downhill bike, it's very, very progressive. The Izzo is definitely more on the linear side in comparison to our other bikes. But with having such little travel, we wanted to fit everything as tightly as we could, while still being able to offer a water bottle in there and everything.
Gotcha. That's cool. Yeah, and
hmm
man, there are some rippers out there that are on the Izzo, and they swear by it. I know Rich and Rob Drew, for example, are doing it.
hmm
Um, Rob was tearing up an Izzo out there in Bentonville, and
hmm
just making it look so fun. Um, Riding Dirty out of Sedona is saying, "Send it this way, and I'll tell you."
We'll find out.
I love that. Scott saying, "I'm 6 foot with shoes and 195 pounds. In any of your options, would a decoy large or extra large be a better fit?"
Mm. At 6 foot, you really technically could go either way. Personally, I would say an XL would probably fit you best, unless you want something that feels smaller underneath you. With any of our bikes, I would recommend keeping a shorter stem, kind of like the Decoy has. stock. If you go a little bit longer with the bike being so slack, it kind of feels a little bit like lacking confidence, I guess you could say. So the XL, that way you can, scoot the saddle back if you need to, put the seat dropper all the way down into the frame and probably be more comfortable. I'm 5'7", maybe 5'8" on a really good day, and I ride a large personally. So going all the way up to 6 foot, I think the XL would probably suit you best.
There you go, Scott. Hope that helps, man. They're thinking XL for you, so definitely go down. You can go down to the mill if you live close by. You can go down and demo both sizes and see which one feels good under your toes if you're in the area. And Jordan, this mill in San Clemente, is that that's the only mill in the USA, right?
Yep, it's the only one in North America for now.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, for now. Uh-oh.
Yep.
So, something good's afoot here.
That's all I can say.
MTV Raging, I think he's on the same secret sauce. He says, seriously, I can't say yet. Mike's got some potential. 34 wizardry coming. Guinea pigs are us. LOL. Oh man, they're having fun in the chat. Trail Pimp is saying to you, Scott, he's saying XL, brother, XL. And Tony the Outsider saying, I'm 5'9" on a large, and it's perfect for him. So MTV Raging has a YT. I'm also with Tony. They're about the same size and rides a large. And Mr. Nice Bike, who rides bikes out in San Diego, says, Scott, Ripple XL all day, bro. So, man, hope that helps. We're getting a shaka from Scott. So right on, man. Right on.
Sick.
Yes, definitely. So, Jordan, what are some other things that are happening there at YT that you can share that might be a little bit different or changing or upcoming?
Recently we actually did a price drop, completely website wide. We finally have caught up with supply chain issues that were happening during COVID. So once we got some savings, we wanted to pass that on to our customers, just like always. So you'll see, definitely different prices across the board with anything that's either in stock or even pre-order on our site. And those price changes are here to stay. It's not just like a sale or anything like that. Quite literally, our prices got lower, so we're going to pass that on.
Wow.
It's kind of part of our lineage. We started, basically just wanting to provide a high quality machine for those riders that couldn't quite afford it. And yeah, we're continuing that whole situation.
That's awesome. So the new price drop, that's just not a promotional time slot. That's going to be back to the lineage of YT. Great bikes at a great value price.
Exactly.
God damn.
Yep.
Nice. Dang. Okay, folks, there we go. We got a price drop on those that are going to stay. I saw that Joey had popped that promo up. Was that on Instagram that you had that there, Joey? Was that where that was? Or is that on their website? Instagram.
It's on Instagram everywhere. I think we did a couple of Facebook posts about it as well.
Nice. Yeah, all of them. They're showing all the bikes right there. Oh, even the Primus for the kiddos. Messiah Hill, my son, who I saw in the chat. What's up, buddy? He's ripping the little Primus 26. He's having such a blast. I left the mill today, and I got a new bike day coming for you guys. Can't wait to show you that video. But I got a call from my son, and he's so stoked on riding bikes, Jordan. He's like, Dad, I just whipped it about 80 degrees. I'm almost 90 all the way through.
That's awesome.
I was like, but what about your math test? How'd you do in your math test today? He's like, oh yeah, I did fine, but I'm whipping.
At least he's giving you a degree angle. That means he's doing well in math, right?
Exactly. That's very true. Very specific. You got to be specific to be terrific, my son.
Yep. That's awesome.
So, Chopin saying YT changed the game with pricing when they came to the US. Yeah, definitely. That's cool. That's cool that they did. I love it. I love it. Now, I know a lot of bike shops might say, it's tough with YT being so direct to consumer. What would you kind of say to some of the bike shops? Because I also know you guys work with a lot of the bike shops. If you guys are full, you recommend bike shops. But how do you guys what's your relationship there with the bike shops?
Yeah, definitely. I actually I came from working at various bike shops around Orange County for I guess 7 or 8 years, and then finally landed at YT. So I had a similar mind state to a lot of shops, you know, before actually working here. You know, we want to pass savings on to customers as far as actually buying the bike, but when it comes to service or upgrades or anything like that, you know, in customer service, we always push people to go to their local shop. We're not trying to take, you know, daily business away from shops either. You know, we'd love to sell bikes to people at a value price, but as far as service or anything like that, we always want to support local shops.
And that's so true, man. I see it when I go in there. A lot of times they're jumping on the phone or they're telling the customer there's a bike shop in your area that, you know, I've heard of good things from. So I see that in action when I'm actually live in there. And I hope that makes it out there to the airwaves of other bike shops, knowing that YT is there to work with you guys and also refer a lot of people to the local bike shop. So that I think is very cool. Colorado Kid.
Yeah, totally.
Colorado Kid is one of the YouTube celebrities out there. He says, next time I come down to SoCal, I'll have to go on a YT a spin. Mark, take care of it. You got it, Joe. I got you covered. I know people like Jordan, and we can get you on a bike. Callie, the question is, which bike would you want to ride? So I believe, well, Colorado Kid lives in Northern California. But when you come to SoCal, what bike would you want to ride? Would it be a decoy? I don't know if I could see Colorado Kid on an e-bike. What do you guys think? I don't know. I think he'd have fun on the Jeffsy. That's a good.
Make him try an e-bike. You know, people can not like e-bikes all they want until they try one.
That's true. That's true, man. Once you get on one of those things, oh my gosh,
game changer. Total game changer.
Such a game changer. And I feel like it's just one of those things. Like, I don't think now that I'm on an e-bike, it's not that I think that an e-bike is better than, I think it's just a good addition too. So it's kind of like, if I'm going with the guy, like you said, if we have an hour at lunch and we got to get back to work, man, the e-bike would be the one that I'm reaching for, because I can get more miles and more smiles, which is awesome. Oh, here he goes. He's saying it. He says, OMG, the videos he would make if he went to the dark side. Colorado Kid's actually saying, e-bikes are a blast. Do a yearly Downeyville e-bike trip. Legendary. Okay, so yeah, he's down with the E.
Nice.
He's down with the E. So we got to get him on one. He says, whichever bike really highlights the aerodynamics of his mustache, honestly. Which one would that be? Would that be the Izzo? The Izzo's got such nice, clean lines.
You know, I'd go with the Scepter. Match the drop.
Oh, the Scepter. Yeah, the Scepter. Callie, let's get you on a Scepter. We'll take him down. Could you take the Scepter down the main jump line?
I've done it. It's definitely doable.
Oh my God.
Definitely doable.
That's awesome. See, Callie, we there's bikes there. There's many bikes to be had. and a lot of stoke. Oh man, Jordan, I know we talked a lot about the bikes and we talked about your role in marketing there, but let's touch base. Like, Jordan's not just a guy that's working behind the scenes there at YT, not just the corporate dude. He grew up riding bikes. Jordan, let's talk a little bit about your lineage for bikes. So you come from a mountain bike family.
Yeah, I sure do, actually. I was born and raised by an ex-pro downhill racer, actually, my mom, not my dad.
Awesome.
She raced in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I didn't really have a choice but to get into riding. I think my first race was when I was maybe 3.5 or 4 years old, up in Big Bear.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I kind of got forced into it. Obviously, it was fun growing up, but they never really, my parents never really like cut corners with me. I didn't get a full suspension bike until I worked at a bike shop and I bought my own. I always had like a hardtail or like a BMX bike, really, unless I could, you know, put my savings towards it or work towards it.
I love that.
But even with that being said, my mom's in her 60s now, and I still don't ride with her on purpose because she rips me to shreds.
Tell the folks who your mom is. What's your mom's name?
So her name's Elain Gold. She is definitely active in the mountain bike community down here in Orange County, especially with a community called the Trail Angels. It's a big women's group that goes riding, honestly, any day of the week, anywhere down here from like Whiting all the way through Laguna and so on. But one of her teammates when she was racing was Lee Donovan. She actually works at SRAM now.
Oh yeah.
But she kind of pursued her career with mountain biking. My mom kind of just, wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So she didn't really go too far with it. But she definitely never stopped riding.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Mhm.
Elaine Gold is your mom. That's insane.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so your dad obviously had a love for mountain biking. Are there multiple kiddos? Do you have multiple
Mhm.
siblings?
Yeah, so I have one older brother. He actually used to race cross country. He would do the Vision Quest and Counting Coup every year. I
Dang.
don't think he ever podiumed or anything like that, but he definitely trained hard for it. It's kind of funny, actually. My dad is a computer science guy at Cal State Long Beach, and he was never a mountain bike rider really all that much, even when my mom was out racing. But as they've gotten older, now they actually they go on bike packing trips every year
No way.
and either do a large portion of or completely the Great Divide. So that's basically Canada to Mexico on a
Holy,
bicycle,
holy
camping
cow.
every night. Yeah, it's
Oh
pretty
my
gnarly.
god. So would they be
Yeah.
on a trip like that? Would you be on like a Scepter type of bike for that? Or would that be a full like XC mountain
You
bike? What would
know,
that be?
they they technically they could do it on a Scepter. I definitely suggested it to them, but when they're in the saddle for over 30 days back to back to
Ooh,
back, you
ooh.
want something even more upright, and most likely with a flat bar. So they have flat bars. It's still a hardtail, but those bikes actually have a pinion gearbox. So they have 13
Wow.
gears running on a belt drive. That
Wow.
if you think about it, maintenance wise, you never really have to worry about a sealed gearbox, similar to like a car or something like that. But they have them fully loaded up, front and rear. Handlebar bag all the way back to having panniers and seat bags and all that stuff.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, pretty
And
gnarly.
they're in their 60s.
Yeah. Yep. Hmm.
Dang. Spokesman saying, wow, Great Divide is not messing around.
Hmm.
Dude, for sure. So this is your lineage, growing up around athletes, like your mom, obviously,
Hmm.
and then now your father, your brother in the racing. So you like are totally into this. So, what
Hmm.
was your first? Do you remember your last hardtail bike, and then do you remember your very first dual suspension bike and the difference that
Oh
you felt?
man. I think my last hardtail was a specialized fuse. So that's
Uh,
like a plus tire kind of slacked out hardtail. That was one of the more fun bikes that I've ridden, at least that was a hardtail. And I guess at that time I also had a single speed rigid 29, or I raced cross country for a little bit too in the single speed category.
Holy
Uh,
cow!
and that bike was gnarly fast. There was nothing really going on with it. All it had was one gear and two brakes, but it was it was tough. um, but I think my first full suspension, geez, I think it was actually a felt compulsion. I'm not sure if they have that bike anymore. But it's basically similar to like a specialized enduro or maybe like a Capra, but a little bit more linear and as far as suspension geometry goes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
It
Dang,
was a game
man.
changer, total game changer.
Yeah, it felt like amazing, right? When you first jumped
Oh
on
yeah,
it?
yeah. I mean, I would go to Snow Summit and take my fuse out there, my hardtail, which
Whew.
sounds kind of gnarly going to the bike park. But in the first few weeks of the season opening, everything was super smooth without braking bumps or anything like that. So it honestly felt like a dirt jumper. Just put the seat dropper all the way down, and it's just nice and easy.
Dang, dang. Well, they
Hmm.
say if you can really rip that hardtail, then you really know the trail. You get all that feedback, when you make a mistake, when you take off and
Hmm.
land really smooth, you just
Hmm.
there's no nothing to cover that up.
Yeah, it
That's
it reminds you all the time. It reminds
yeah.
you.
That's why I have lots of suspension for my
Yep,
riding. Oh man,
for sure,
Trail
for
Pip is
sure.
saying Stealth Tahoe sells felt great brand. So there you go. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
still around. Stealth.
Hmm.
Dang.
Felt actually, from what I know, I think felt now is mostly on the road side of things. I know Rosignol bought them out and kind
Okay.
of took over the mountain bike part of it. So Rosignol is like a famous ski company. So when they have you know, like mountain shops that sell skis. They also sell mountain bikes during the summertime.
That is cool. I saw that. Oh, look at one of the boys from the mill. What's up, James? James Aki just jumped on.
Hey,
It
what's
says
up?
Jay Gold
In the house.
in the house. I love it. I love it. What's up, James? Thank you for your video part today. I really appreciate it, man. It's going to be awesome when I release that.
I'm stoked to see it.
I twisted his arm into something. So yeah, when my son was at Sky Park, that was the first time we rented a mountain bike for him, and it was a Rossignol. So knowing that that came from that lineage, that's pretty cool. And then basically, you did you ever go back to hardtail after you jumped on that dual suspension, or have you been dual ever since?
You know, I think I've been full suspension ever since, because shortly after that, I started at YT and then just went full trail, full enduro. Yeah. Yeah. So never really looked back. I would love to get a hardtail again someday, but it's kind of tough having a Capra and a decoy.
Yes. Now, here's a question. You brought up the Capra, and going back to the bikes a little bit. The new Geo on the Capra and the Geo of the Jeffsy, obviously one has a lot more suspension than the other, but the Jeffsy has always been known to be the climber, and the Capra's always been known to be the downhiller. But now with this new Geo, where do we land with the Capra on the climbs? Because I've heard a lot of stuff out there from riders telling me, "Hey, man, that new Capra feels like the Jeffsy." Are we kind of getting closer to that space with this?
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. The updated Capra, for me personally, feels pretty similar to a Jeffsy climbing. The
Holy
updated
cow!
Capra has a much steeper seat tube. So when you're in the riding position, you're actually a little bit more, you know, on the bike instead of kind of in the bike, I'd say, which honestly just creates way more efficiency. The last generation of Capra, I would say, was more leaning towards a park bike, whereas the updated version now is meant to be pedaled a little bit more, I'd say.
Gotcha. I love that. I love that. It's
Yeah.
like you have your Swiss Army knife bike, but then you have your Swiss Army knife for the downhill too with that Capra. So, oh my gosh, man, I can't wait to get more experience on that. I'm not saying anything, but and Jordan,
For sure.
with your position in marketing, oh, Joey, bringing it back up.
Oh.
There's a sneak-a-poo.
Yep.
Jordan, with your lineage and literally being in the bike world since you were like a little kid, 3 years old up until today, and I'm sure within your role in marketing, it's probably one of the things that you have to see is like trends and obviously looking at what other bike companies are doing. But now in your role, your optics on the mountain bike industry, what are you seeing out there when it comes to what people are liking, where they're going with it, and what you guys might be heading towards?
You know, I've seen a lot of like reoccurring trends, honestly, as far as, you know, demand from customers. I've seen it go from, you know, working the bike shop days, there was a lot of like cross country that then turned into down country, and then everyone kind of gravitated towards the trail bike and then to the enduro bike. And then now we're kind of going back to down country bikes. So it'll be interesting to see if that goes through all over again, back to enduro. Yeah, it's honestly just interesting watching the market fluctuate in that way. Um, uh, you know, but honestly, thinking to the past, and I was asking someone the other day, I still can't decide what the better invention was for mountain biking. Was it tubeless or the sheet dropper? That's one thing that always pops up in my head. And some days I feel one way, some days I feel the other way. But yeah, I still can't pick one.
Yeah, that's true. God, I feel like for those of you could probably relate out there listening to the show right now, but how many times do you use your dropper on a ride? I gotta say mine's gotta be in the hundreds, constantly adjusting that sucker. And thank goodness I can. Are you in the
Yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
boat?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm constantly using that thing all the time.
I love it. It's so nice. And then just recently I was having a conversation with James Aki there in the mill and Hunter and actually Parker talking about changing up the seat post, whether you go 150 mil or 200 mil or 170 mil. And I was thinking, I always felt like that just brings the seat up higher. But they're also saying that because of the sleeve, you can actually slam the
Mhm.
saddle all the way down to the frame. And I
Mhm.
can't believe I never thought of that.
Mhm. Yeah, like the seat post can move as a whole into the frame. But one thing I've always thought of is, do you really need your seat that low?
Mm,
Because at times I feel like even when my seat's all the way down on the dropper, I still kind of use it kind of like as a rudder between my knees when I'm riding. And if it was
okay,
all the way down, then I wouldn't really have anything for my legs to touch at any time.
got it.
So I almost
Interesting.
think going too low could cause issues eventually.
Interesting. That's a good thought. That's a good thought.
Mhm.
And I did notice I was at Sky Park this weekend, and I was watching a lot of the kids with the best trick contest. A lot of them
Mhm.
had their dropper seat up like maybe quarter of the way, and they would just
Mhm.
use that to pinch with their legs to take the hands
Mhm.
off the bars, do all other types of things. And that was just a new, thought process for me. Like, oh damn, that's how you
Mhm.
keep the bike with you.
Mhm. I mean, if you look at like freestyle motocross, for example, they always have the seat there. If they needed more space, then they would probably ride something like a trials bike, where there is no
Int-
seat, or it's all the way, all the way down.
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Mhm.
Interesting. Dang.
Mhm. A
I
little bit different.
see Jordan with the lenses there on the bikes. I love it. And
Mhm.
now also too, you were in this position when we had the pandemic, right? So,
Mhm.
um, what did you see then, and what are you seeing now as we're kind of emerging out of this pandemic?
Mhm. I mean, honestly, demand just went through the roof during the pandemic. I think demand went high for a lot of different industries, but it took us by surprise, I would say at first, at least for the cycling industry as a whole, it took us by surprise. Obviously with lockdowns, people needed to do something. They wanted to get outside, and riding bikes sounds like a really good option. If you have nothing else
Yeah,
to do.
right.
So demand got really high, but supply chain got chopped. So we had a really high demand without being able to actually supply to the customer, which was honestly quite frustrating. Even for some of us staff, we'd have to wait for weeks and weeks and weeks to get a part, even for a bike. I think
Jeez.
even still, there's some issues, getting certain chains or certain chain rings and things like that. Like not just on back order, but not going to see those parts until mid 2023 even.
Wow.
So there's definitely some brands and some companies still catching up, but I think for the most part, people are getting back to normal.
Got it. Back up there so that they have the supply for the demand. Do you find that is the
Hmm.
demand dropping, or are people able to satisfy their demand now?
You know, I I think it could be a mix of both, especially with like the world opening, so to speak. People can go out to dinner now, or go to various places during the day. I think movie theaters, are wide open for the most part now too.
True.
People can get back to what their hobbies were before. But I think for a lot of people that at least were new to cycling during the pandemic, a lot of people honestly just gravitated towards it and they want to keep doing it.
I love it, man. I love it. I feel like it's boomed, and I hope the boom is here to
Hmm.
stay. I met so many great
Hmm.
people out on the trails, and I feel like, and I don't know if it's always been this way, Jordan, but has the mountain biking community always been this like cool, this open, this like this brotherhood feeling when you go out on the trails? Has it been like that since
Hmm.
you've been riding?
For me, it's always been that way, but the groups have always been a lot smaller, a
Got
lot
it.
smaller. Like there
Okay.
were even times, growing up that we'd see one or two other people out on the trail all day, whereas now you see riders everywhere all the
Yeah.
time. Even driving around, on the freeway, you see a lot more bike racks with bikes on them. You know.
Yes. I love that too because I'm always staring at them
Hmm.
like, "What kind of bike is that? That's cool looking." And then I'm
Hmm.
like, "Oh, stay in my lane."
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man. Oh, these
For
guys are
sure.
having fun in the chat here. I love it. Chopim is saying, "I thought the first generation capper would scale any mountain, and it was the best climbing bike enduro bike in 2015." Wow.
Hmm.
Okay, Trail Pimp. That's it. That's good experience
Hmm.
from Trail Pimp. Oh, what's up, Johnny? You out of Miami? We got Miami in the house. He says, "Panty."
Nice.
Good evening, kids. I'll have to rewatch. Now, this gentleman has had his eyes on the Jeff seat. And he lives in Miami, so there's a lot of like they have a lot of built features there because it's a lot more flat, less mountains. So he's looking at that Jeff C. Anything new happening with the Jeff C, or anything that you can speak of on the Jeff C now? I think there's the Jeff C flight attendant out there, yeah?
Yeah. There's the Uncaged 6. So that bike's outfitted with the flight attendant technology from SRAM. So it's wireless technology that basically adjusts your suspension as you're riding. It's very smart, very intuitive. Every time I've ridden it, I've tried to trick it, basically like preloading when climbing, or going to go bunny hop up a curb, but it thinks faster than I do, which is really
Wow.
impressive. But the Uncaged 6 comes with carbon wheels, even carbon crank arms, the top of the line, everything really, and then flight attendant on top of all that. So it's definitely a really solid setup.
Is the Jeff C still the #1 seller, or was even the Jeff C the #1 seller out of all the YT bikes?
Honestly, at this point, I believe so. I think so. It's had the highest demand, at least from my circle and everyone that I've talked to. The Jeff C is still going strong.
Yeah, that bike is definitely all around awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We got an idea here. Mr. Nice Bike saying 2S with a single crown. Oh, is pretty badass setup as well.
It
Like
is.
it. Like it.
It is. Yep.
Bobby Vacco out of Corona is saying, so now that YT has a gravel bike, is that making gravel bike cool?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does, Bobby. Wait until you see the
Yep.
ads on this thing. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
MT Raging is saying, out of the two that you were talking about going back and forth, he's saying dropper. Dropper definitely. The best invention.
Honestly,
Spokesman.
I think your tubeless is saving flats a lot more than you think.
That's true too, right? That's true
Yep.
too. Spokesman
Mm-hmm.
saying best MTB invention is full squish at under 30 pounds. That's a game changer. Droppers are nice also. So he's kind of going for the full squish and the dropper. Mr. Nice Bike saying, oh yeah, here we go with the seat post that we talked about. I leave my post up about quarter of the way when I do no handers so you can grip the seat with your knees. Yeah. Right. That's so good. Uncaged. He's saying, if you see my hands off the bars, I'm crashing. He's going.
That's
he's
awesome.
talking the truth. Mr. Nice Bike, you're funny. Mountain Bike Q&A out of Miami saying, yes, sir. Spokesman, Northern California. Who is Jeff C named after? Oh, that's a good question. Do you know that?
Jesse's supposed to be your best friend.
Okay. That's how it got its name, Jeff C. Your best friend. Yeah. Brett Hall, he's got one. He says, I love mine. He does. He's got a nice one. Trump him saying, when I came to the mill last March, I had such a great time. Free beer, energy drinks, and demos. That is a great way to inspire someone to buy a bike. Yeah, cool. Makes a cool environment for sure. What is on tap there, Jordan? By the way, I know it changes. What's on tap?
It's always rotating. It's always rotating.
Yeah.
There's plenty of different breweries in San Clemente that will get Artifacts, for example. I think right now we've been having pretty consistently different drinks from Mother Earth Brewing.
Ooh, yum.
They've been coming to a lot of our events too and supplying beer too, which is awesome.
Oh, that Cali creaming, man, so good.
I'd love to say one and done, but you can never really just have one.
No, it's like a potato chip. You just can't have one.
Yep, exactly.
They're so good. Oh man, look at this. Now we're saying tubeless. MT Raging is changing. He's changing from dropper to tubeless, Jordan.
Yep. I mean, if you think about it, which one's going to take more time? Fixing flats 2 or 3 times a ride, or dropping your seat and picking it back up?
Right. Good point. Especially if you have like the little lever thing on there, just pull the lever or drop the seat down. Yeah. Dude, I never thought of that. For the folks that are out there listening to this, if it's on Spotify or iTunes or on the YouTube, put it in the comments. What was the best invention? Is it tubeless tires or was it the dropper post? Let's see what the votes come out to. I'm curious about that.
Me too. I'll be looking.
It's funny because you could feel so strongly that it's the dropper because it's utilized so much. But then on the other hand, you could feel so strongly that it's the tubeless setup because
I go back and forth all the time. I'm
My
telling you, I
gosh,
still can't pick.
that'd be so hard. That would be so
Yeah,
hard. I wonder if it's gonna be a
yeah.
50-50.
I hope so.
MTV Page is saying Mother Earth. Mother Earth.
Mhm.
Trail Pimp saying Cush Core for me is the best invention. Makes the bike park feel smooth. Ooh,
Mm.
nice.
But you couldn't have Cushcore without tubeless. So
That's true. So, Brett says tubeless.
yep, yep.
UO SoCal saying SRAM AXS all day as best invention.
Mm, mm.
Ooh, ooh. I think
Not a bad
spokesman's,
choice. Not
yeah.
a bad choice. Yeah.
Spokesman's actually there saying shifters. Bikes suck before shifters.
Not wrong. Not
Yeah.
wrong at all.
Man, what is the best invention? This is good, man. We got to keep this. We got to keep this going for best
Yeah.
invention. Um,
Mhm.
and Jordan, so dude, I'm so grateful that you're able to jump on the podcast and talk about YT and talk about
Yeah.
you as a rider, your lineage. I had no
Mhm.
idea that your mom was a famous pro downhill rider. That's
Mhm.
really, really cool. And I love the fact that you've been in the mountain bike community since you were 3.
Mhm.
It puts you when you're sitting in those meetings and looking at things for marketing and engaging the market and looking at what's going to be pushed next and everything. It does feel good to like actually have a writer for writers in there helping
Mhm.
push those things out. um
Mhm.
can you share, has there ever been any ideas that have come across your desk and you're like, whoa, no?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, honestly, I think at first I felt that way about the Scepter. I was like, whoa, like YT isn't gravel bike. Like I didn't know any details about it at all. I just thinking about having drop bars for us didn't seem to align, with us at all. But after seeing all the R&D and definitely after riding the bike, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
I love it, man. I gotta
Hmm.
try that bike now. Dang it.
Hmm. Definitely have to,
A
for
new
sure.
candy in the candy store. Holy cow.
Yep. Yep.
Jordan, is there anything about you as a writer or YT or anything that YT is coming up with soon or anything like that that we haven't covered that you'd like to share before we end the show?
Nothing that we can cover yet. That's all I'm going to say. Keep
Gotcha.
your eyes peeled. We have some
Some
cool stuff coming.
Oh man. And
Yep.
how soon do you think this cool stuff might be hitting the market space? Are you allowed to kind of give somewhat of a timeline?
I know that we're going to have some cool stuff spread out through the first and second quarter of 2023.
Oh, save your Christmas money, kids.
Hmm.
Save
What?
save the Christmas money. and that actually may answer UO SoCal's question or statement here. He's saying a bigger decoy battery. So all I can say is
Maybe.
what I've heard is keep your eyes peeled. It wasn't a no.
Hmm.
It's to keep your eyes peeled.
Yep.
We got another vote
Stay
here for
tuned.
MTB Kaz. He says dropper, dropper, dropper. A lot of them for the dropper, Jordan. It's
Hmm.
pretty interesting there. Emmanuel, what's up? This dude, Purple Heart veteran, love this guy. He's saying,
Hmm.
yeah, I'll be in the market for a new bike hopefully soon. Ooh, that could line up.
Right on.
Emmanuel, there's some cool potentially. This is all hearsay. Potentially, there's some cool stuff coming in early of next year, maybe even sooner.
Hmm.
But save those pennies. Something cool's a coming.
Hmm.
I see
Stay
Joey's
tuned.
got. Stay tuned. Joey's got something pulled up here. What does Joey have on the screen? It looks like he wants to share something. Let's see. No, he's saying no. Okay.
No, okay.
Oh, we got a donation to the show. Thank you, Trail Monster. Really appreciate it. $5 here. He says all the modern bike parks complement each other. So will it just makes the riding experience so much fun and enjoyable. Yeah, so true,
I
man.
agree.
Having
I
all that
agree.
stuff. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I mean, it says, don't threaten me with the good time. Johnny, you saying Jeffsy isn't in stock just yet, but I am seriously on it.
Hmm.
Yes. And Jordan, remind them if they're looking at the Jeffsy, they have what are the different ranges of the Jeffsy?
So there's the Core 2, Core 3, and Core 4. And then we have that Uncaged 6 that we talked about as well. I know that we're still getting containers in. Every time that we are notified of bikes coming our way, they go on the website. But the best way to stay tuned really is just to sign up for our newsletter. And then there's also a notify me button on our website too. So if you look at a specific bike and a specific color rate and a specific size, you can be notified when that exact bike is coming back into stock to pre-order it.
Nice. There you go, Johnny. I hope that helps. Wonder which one you're looking for. Johnny's a pretty tall dude. So if he's 6'1", 6'2", maybe are you 6'3"? Well, do you think an XL would be for him, or is that a double XL? When do you get into that range?
I think from what I've seen, I think double XL kind of starts around 6'2" ish, I'd say.
Okay.
And then again, kind of coming down to rider preference. If you want something a little bit longer, then go with a bigger bike. If you want a shorter wheelbase, and go with a shorter one. But at that kind of height, you really could go either way.
Okay.
With the Jet C2, with it having like a steeper seat tube and all that stuff, even if you do go to the double extra large, you can scoot the seat forward on the rails and stuff like that as well.
Interesting. So the reach isn't that much of a difference between the two. It's just kind of more, since you're kind of in between, it's more what you're more comfortable with. Johnny's saying he is 6'1".
Okay, XL then for sure. Yeah.
XL for there. Okay, got it. So there you go, Johnny. That's from Jordan Gold from the marketing department there at YT. He's highly suggesting XL, which is awesome. Spokesman is saying, thanks to Jordan, to YT, and to the segment for a great podcast. I'm having a great evening. Good, brother. I'm glad. That's awesome. And I can't believe we're over an hour. I can't believe, how does it go so fast, you guys?
Wow.
It goes so quick. I don't understand how that goes. Brett Hall, he says double XL is good for me. And Brett's a tall guy. Brett, how tall are you? Are you 6'1", 6'2", something like that? Kind of in that in-between range. Oh my gosh. I'm glad these guys popped on. The Bomber Crew. So this Saturday, you guys, if you're catching this before Saturday the 12th, the Bomber Crew is having a group ride, a veterans group ride at Waterworks in Orange County. So if you guys can join, show up at 0730, as they would say, and roll out at 0800 is what they're going to do. So that's exactly right. And these group rides are big when it happens. These birthdays, or I'm saying birthdays because they're saying happy birthday, Marines. Yeah, totally, man, which is so cool. Thank you guys for your service and all of you that are part of the Bomber Crew, which is cool. Look at this, Jordan. We got $20 from MTB Raging. We got a super sticker for $20. I might just take that $20. Did you guys know, and this isn't a plug, but it kind of is, that there is really cool YT performance wear, and it's at really good prices. So I might take that $20 to go see if I can get something there from Mr. James Aki at the YT Mail or on the website. One of the things that I've really loved about your performance wear is, and I don't know if this was part of your decision making on this too, Jordan, but the fact that you guys have the goggle cleaner inside the jerseys, how did you guys? Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah, look at that. Right.
Yep.
How did you guys think of that?
I think that was designed over in Europe, but honestly, I've used it countless times. It's genius.
Yeah,
it's exactly what you need.
Totally, it's very
great.
cool. And the prices for the performance wear are at least 25 to 30% less than the ones that are out there in the market. Yeah, Joey's just bringing some stuff up right now. There's the mid logo jersey, $39.99 for the jersey. The Jockey Tech, I love that Jockey Tech tee because it feels like a regular tee, but it just is very moisture wicking, which is really cool. $39 for that. Now talking to some of the guys, like some guys like jerseys, some guys don't. Are you a jersey guy?
I'm not. I've always been a t-shirt guy. At least as soon as I stopped racing cross country, I swore I would never wear Lycra again. And then the gravel bike showed up. But other than that, if I'm out riding with full suspension, you'll see me in a t-shirt. But now I wear the performance wear. I actually wear it normally almost every day. It's just super comfortable and light feeling. And yeah, I don't know, compared to like a cotton t-shirt, it's night and day.
Yeah, right. Totally. Yeah, look, the prices are slashing here too. Joey's on the website. For those of you listening on iTunes or Spotify, Joey's on the US YT website. And that's another reminder, when you guys go, if you're not in the area and you're ordering this online, you want to make sure you're ordering from the US YT site. There is also the YT that goes to Europe. So it would be a different shipping and handling if you guys did that.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
think nowadays it should change a region when you put your address in. But
okay.
the safest way to check is just look in the browser right there, and it should just have us.yt,
Yes.
just instead of just YT in general.
Love it. I love it. Yeah. Anything else on the YT side that you'd like to add?
Not yet, but we definitely should do this again.
Definitely. So, see, guys, see how I was trying to twist the arm a little bit, trying to get some information.
Yeah, he
Jordan is
tried.
he tried. Tight, loose lips sink ships, as they say.
Yep,
Jordan
true.
Gold is
It's true.
he's good. So we'll definitely have Jordan back on. I'm really looking forward to some of the great stuff that's happening out there with YT. I love everything you guys have out there currently. Looking forward to what's going on in the future. And man, thank you for all the support too, you guys.
Definitely.
Really appreciate it. Can't believe that got support from such a great company for this little podcast. So man, which is awesome. Thank you all too in the chats out there for joining us. This has been a night to for me. This is special having Jordan Gold on from the marketing department of YT. Jordan Gold, folks.
See you guys.
We'll see you guys out on the trails very soon. If you're not doing anything this Saturday, 80800 show up to Waterworks. There'll be a bunch of us out there having a good time. Jordan, if you're not doing anything, if you're not working that day, come on out. I'm recruiting a bunch of people. Will be out having a good time. Tons of raffles, tons of fun, and we'll see you guys there. Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you, Jordan.